3, 2, 1. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Ring Post Radio. We're the only episode. We're at 9:17 in the morning. We're jazzed up. We're ready to go. We're hyped. We got a big show for you all. So I gotta introduce Scotty right now so we can get right into the show. Scotty, welcome to Ring Post Radio. How are you doing?
Oh, I'm doing great today, guys.
I'm coming in hot.
Ooh.
Did we vent to each other right before the show? Maybe. Are we gonna vent publicly on the show? Probably. Big show.
Yeah, definitely. We actually will.
Big show. I feel like we got to get into it right now because there wasn't a lot of news. There wasn't really like a. It wasn't really like a. I didn't felt like a huge news week for wrestling, which was. Is that a good thing, bad thing? I don't know. But, I say we just get straight into, your usual gambit of reviewing and previewing shows. What do you think about that?
Sure.
We got Full Gear to talk about. We got crossover to talk about. I feel like we got a lot of stuff to talk about. So let's just get right into the reviews.
A lot of big dogs.
A lot of big dogs. A lot of big dogs. A lot of big cats with a K. So I feel like we just got to go straight into, reviewing shows. What do you say?
Hit me with it.
All right. Go. The NWA, baby. Let's talk about it. Yeah, talk about some hard times. Let's talk about the NWA.
You want to talk about hard times? All right, I'm going to save my energy because I have many thoughts.
Yeah, well, I don't want to actually review the show.
No, neither of us watched it. We have respect for ourselves here.
Yeah. I didn't want to watch 14 sub 3-star matches. So that's
if I wanted to do that, I could watch Power every week and watch less matches.
Look, if you're a long time listener to the show, you understand that for Ring Post Radio here, the NWA is sort of a meme. We
appreciate Ryan for trying.
I appreciate for trying to keep it up and everything, but I've gone off the leash. I've tried to give it some modicum of respect throughout the months, throughout the year, and it is beyond saving at this point. And it is so incredibly sad to me what this promotion has become at this point. And it's slowly been getting there, but it's gotten there.
It's incredible that 3 times in 1 week you can embarrass yourself this badly. 3 times.
In like 3
once
days,
at the beginning,
right?
Once in the middle, and once at the end.
All right.
It's like they wanted us to talk about them, which is probably exactly what they wanted.
Yeah.
But when everything you did is embarrassing and foolish and clownish and frankly disgusting, you deserve to be put over the fire, and I hope we can watch you burn via our wonderful words here. I mean, we're not even going to talk about this, but this is a week where Austin Theory cashed his fucking title, fucking Money in the Bank in on the United States Championship and lost. Oh. And yet it's not even close to the most embarrassing things in wrestling this week.
No.
Congratulations. This is why Triple H is seen as a genius, people, because you have Billy Corgan becoming the worst booker of all time.
It's bad, dude. It is. I mean,
never want to hear a word about Jeff Jarrett ever again. I don't want to fucking hear it.
I just don't want to see. It's so frustrating to see. Dog things where they deserve to get dogged. That's how I feel. I was giving for a long time. I was giving the NWA benefit of the doubt. Then at this point, I'm well beyond that. AEW, they have their issues. WWE, I think they have their issues as well, and they're ultimately the same company as they were before. That's how I feel. But the NWA, it is pitiful the depths that they continue to drop to. I mean, let's talk about it. So the first off, you talk about beginning, middle, end. You talk about hard times. Let's talk about the beginning. And it was this whole week started with the NWA where it was announced via Nick Aldis, who I believe has an office job in the company, that he is not going. He had, yeah, well, that's apparent. That he is not going to be renewing his contract with the NWA in January. Citing, I don't know if he originally cited in this, but he later said one of the reasons he's leaving and not wanting to resign are twofold. One, it's become an embarrassment. He's embarrassed by Gags the Gimp. He's embarrassed by social distancing matches. I think I saw somewhere that he's like, before I would be able to maybe, explain things to Harley Race. Nowadays, I can't explain this to Harley Race. He would be rolling in his grave. And then the other thing is he feels that Billy Corgan disrespected his wife. Don't know entirely how. I think it is via the Empower show and how that fallout continues to happen. I don't know if there's anything more beyond that, but at the very least, that is the suspicion regarding that. So, and then that happens, and Billy Corgan defends himself, saying that Nick Aldis is trying to just say all this to get a new contract. Everyone felt like this could have been a work, not a work apparently. Billy Corgan's like, he's just trying to get a contract. We're working hard. Yada, 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 yada. I mean, what do you think about all this? First off, Nick Aldis leaving. I know you're not a huge Nick Aldis fan, but did you get some points? Did he get some points this week?
Oh, not only did he get points, it took him long enough to realize how shit this company was. So I'm not gonna just sit here and be like, yeah, great job, Nick Aldis. No, you sat there because you had a title around your waist forever.
Mm-hmm.
But good for him for getting out. I think he does offer I won't say superstar presence. Let's chill there, but he can be a main event guy for someone.
Yeah.
Say an Impact. Or he could definitely be the main eventer for Impact, maybe him versus Josh Alexander or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Or he goes to WWE and wastes away like Bobby Roode and LA Knight, because that's where he slots. That is what Nick Aldis is. He carries himself well. He can have a good promo. His matches aren't all that great, but he can go. He can go. It's not like he's gonna have a terrible match.
Yeah.
But that's what he is. And him
in the WWE, he ultimately saw it as a upper mid carder, probably.
Yeah, which is if you want to go do that, go crazy. You're probably gonna get paid well, but
but it's
your wife's at the other company. So
I was like, it's probably also not going to happen. If I'm not mistaken, he has beef with Bruce Pritchard, so I don't think
he does.
I think that's going to happen.
If he goes to AEW, then I really don't want that to happen. They have plenty of talent. We're good. I already have my Ethan Page. Thank you. In terms of guys, I don't necessarily love, but
sure.
one's enough. One's enough.
Yeah.
Ethan Page is okay. Good tag team wrestler. Anyways, back to my point. So, him leaving makes all the sense. I'm surprised it took him this long. You did everything at this company. You couldn't do more. What are you going to do? Win one of the 1700 titles that they have that don't fucking matter? Who cares? I looked at this Hard Times card. How do you have so many title matches for a company that barely exists? The people that are just signing on to be part of this company, you know why? It's just because they need work, because they're pro wrestlers. That's what happens. Or, Ryan, they're a glorified scumbag who no one else will pay. I'm shocked Marty Scurll's not in this company. But anyways, let's continue.
I have thought for months that the only promotion, minor independent promotion, that would really bring back Marty Scurll in America would be at the NWA.
And I'm still shocked he hasn't.
I'm also shocked that he hasn't brought in.
He doesn't
Marty
have a
Scurll.
limit.
He obviously doesn't. It's ridiculous. It
fucking crowns a fucking whale as his champion. Continue. I fucking hate Tyrus, dude.
So
fucking untalented fuck.
So then, I guess the middle of this week for the NWA's tragic tale is that they continuing the question of where's the Empower show and continuing the answer for Billy Corgan and NWA champion at the time Trevor Murdoch, saying continuing the line of they can't do another Empower show because there aren't enough independent women's wrestling draws. Now, I've talked about this before where I don't understand why they do that, because ultimately the bigger issue for them is the show didn't make money. And to play devil's advocate here, it's not, I mean, is it is it better to say that our company didn't make money on the show and we had to get a bailout from Tony Khan, or is it better to say, oh yeah, it's the women's fault? I think both suck ultimately, but obviously they're not trying to put the blame on themselves. They're trying to put the blame on, you know, Mickie James and independent women's wrestling, which, you know, to be fair to them, if independent women's wrestling had bigger drawing stars, Empower would have made more money, you know, would have sold, which it did great stuff for them. It had one of the biggest buy rates of any of their shows for the previous year, I think. But it's still, you know, it's still not, you know, enormous stuff.
Are we sitting here saying any of their pay-per-views make them money?
Yeah, that's a great point as well.
Like I'm sitting today or yesterday, whatever the stupid hard time show was, and I just sat there and I looked at the card on Cage Match. I said, there's no way this made money. Who the hell wants to watch any of this? The only people that have to watch this are the people that have to cover it for the Observer and, you know, Fightful. Like, that's what people have to do. Otherwise, who the frick is watching this unless they just love professional wrestling to the point where they watch every single thing possible. I don't love it that much. I can't get myself to watch the NWA, and I never will. But it was the Trevor Murdoch comment that just set me off the rails. He's like, you know, before we did Empower, no one was making lists of women wrestlers. And I just sat there and I read it. And I was like, what? Like, what? No one cared about women's wrestling until Empower happened? I don't know if you remember this, Trevor Murdoch, you fucking low-card mid-fuck.
Jesus.
There was a pay-per-view called Evolution in WWE that one did far better than this one. And that's still, you know, there's plenty of reports that didn't do well. But for WWE standards, it did a lot better than Empower. I can guarantee you that.
Because it had the WWE name to it, definitely did a lot better. For WWE internally, not great. They never did it again because
I am intrigued if they did it again, because like half of their people are bigger stars now.
Do you think Triple H would do it again?
I think he will try. I think he's gonna try. You see all these people he's bringing back? He only brings back women and Karrion Kross,
who came with Scarlett Bordeaux.
Exactly. I think there's a chance. I think there's a chance he can run it back because Becky's a bigger star now. You know, Sasha's a bigger star. Oh, I know she's not back, but there's a certain War Games that tells me she's coming back. You know, Bianca Belair's a big star now. Like, your actual wrestlers are bigger stars now. You don't have to lean on Ronda Rousey versus Nikki fucking Bella in the main event. Anyway,
that is a legitimate point, though. You could probably
they need a Logan Paul. That's what they need.
They could probably sell Evolution if it was like Sasha Banks and Naomi's first match back, and you know we'll throw in like Charlotte Flair's first match back since she's been gone, and Becky. You know, if we did Evolution and the Naomi, you know, most of the horsewomen are coming back at the same time. That's how you sell a pay-per-view right there.
Yeah.
Sorry,
not that
premium,
that's
premium line
all of this conversation, because I think it was. I was actually going to bring up, like, you know, I think they do another one now that Triple H is in power. But anyways, back to focusing on the NWA. Unfortunately, I just think it's ridiculous, and like, you know, I listened to this podcast, Brace for Impact. I don't watch Impact Wrestling every week, but it's really good because I get to listen to them talk about it.
Yeah,
and one of the hosts brought up how if NWA partnered with Impact, they could easily do an Empower show. And I was like, you know, that would have made sense, seeing that Mickie James works with them, and then you bring in indie talent, you use the NWA talent, because then you have enough talent, right? Yeah. Because Impact has a lot of women's talent, and I just said, you know, that's a great point. That you could have done that, because the whole thing was, oh, he worked with AEW, and you know that I was like, how many talents did AEW actually give you? What, 3, 4?
Kylan King,
Red Velvet. Kylan King works for you now.
Yep. Red Velvet. Layla Hirsch.
I
think that was it.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like, how many actual talent do you need? And there's enough people out there that you can make it happen. Now I understand the drawing thing, but that's the other thing. Just be honest. Just be honest of why you're not doing it. You didn't make money.
Yeah.
Does that suck? Yeah, it absolutely does. But instead of blaming women's talent and women's wrestlers and not like you're just making yourself look like clowns,
The,
bigger every single week.
So, and I think that's the real point. I brought up the idea, the devil's advocate of idea of like, oh, well, which is
Yeah.
worse? You want to admit that your company can't make money, or you want to blame it on the
Like
people
they
that
can't make
aren't?
money on anything, and you want to make it on like this one show where, no offense, I don't think Camille's the biggest draw in the world
No, no. I would say she's the biggest draw in the NWA. She's the biggest star in the
for
NWA.
sure.
Uh,
When the Aldous gone,
yeah.
definitely.
But this idea of like, you know, you say the truth. You say that, hey, you know, we didn't make any money. Versus, oh, it was the women's wrestlers' fault. By continuing the narrative of, oh, it's the independent women's wrestlers that aren't getting themselves over enough. Well, you know, you're kind of shooting yourself in the foot there, Billy, because I can't see any women's wrestlers wanting to come work for your company now after you continuously dog on them. I don't understand if you keep putting that narrative out, how are you gonna get more women's wrestlers? Yeah, it's wrestling, and at the end of the day, it's another paycheck, and can be, you know, NWA still has a name, but still, and also on top of that, you know, you talk about it, it's like who's Camille is like the biggest star in the NWA, and I would admit, yes, the NWA have done a
She
good.
should leave.
She should leave, but the NWA have done a
They
good
all
job.
should leave.
Yes, the NWA have done a good job with Camille. I
Yeah.
say I think they've done a phenomenal job with Camille. But at the same time, what other stars are they creating? You know, they brought in Chelsea Green. They're bringing up Kylan King, but Kylan King kind of already started getting that trend with AEW. So you kind of got a built-in audience there. You know what stars are you creating? Kenzie Page, you know, pretty empowered, which is irony there that are called empowered. You know, you bring Maddie or whatever Rankowski, building up those stars. I don't know. Are we doing this stuff? I mean, build up more star. I don't see them bringing in new independent wrestling talent because I will put money down and say they can't get new independent wrestling talent because the bigger names in the independent women's wrestling world, they can't bring in, you know, any of these women because none of them are like, fuck you, I'm not working for your company because you continue to say that I'm not over and I'm not a draw and I'm not doing all this stuff.
Right.
It's shooting yourself in the foot. You know, even if let's say, and you know, there's no way to really prove this, but let's say that independent women's wrestling is not a draw, right? Let's say it's not drawing the big numbers, right? You know, even if that's if that's true, you still aren't going to get any of those talents because now you're still blaming them. You know, it's not going to work. Nothing. This argument is not going to get you more talent. It's just shooting yourself in the foot, and a bunch of people are going to say no now. Probably, they probably are saying no.
As they should. That Smashing Pumpkins money can only last so long.
Yeah, and then you every single time there's an NWA show, we get these stories about the Empower questions brought up. You get the question of AEW, that one time where he's like, yeah, I would love the NWA to become like a feeder farm for WWE or AEW. This guy is just running out of money, looking for money, looking for a payout. He's not going to get it from anywhere.
It's the only way he get real talent.
Yeah,
is being a feeder farm.
Yeah, and because at this point he can't do anything. We are, and I'll say it, circling the drain on the NWA. It is, I cannot see it last this idea, this Corrigan version of it lasting too much longer. But I don't know. Maybe they just crowned a new champion. Maybe they just crowned a new huge draw that's going to bring them all the television ratings. You know, he was the TV champion for a reason. Let's bring him out. Let's bring him out, everybody. Tyrus coming to the stage. Your new NWA champion. Spoilers if you haven't seen the show. But yeah, Tyrus. I mean, I know you have a lot.
You're welcome if you haven't seen the show.
Yeah, it's yes.
I haven't seen the show, to be fair. I just saw the stupid screen grab.
Tyrus cashes in with his TV title, makes a triple threat, and ultimately last night became the NWA World's Heavyweight Champion. We talk about circling the drain for this company. We talk about the things they just do. Ultimately, all they're doing that for is for Tyrus to walk onto Fox News with the title around his waist. He already did that with the TV title. How is it going to be any different with the world's title? The TV title didn't bring you any more eyes to your product that I can tell, that I know about.
Yeah.
What is now him being the world's champion going to do? Have him win a different title. Why does it have to be the world's title? It's things like this. It's, the moment Nick Aldis leaves, the moment Tyrus is crowned. Now, we already know that Tyrus is probably going to get crowned beforehand, but it's ridiculous that the same week this happens. It's just the PR is horrendous for this company. It's phenomenally bad.
49 years old. Barely can wrestle. Untalented. Mid-carder at best in his career. Funkasaurus. Let me see. Let's see what else I can name just as his wrestling career.
The guy
never did anything worth a shit. Got released by WWE. He got turned into a dancing dinosaur because he wasn't good as a monster. Mm-hmm. Think about that for a second. Vince McMahon said, this guy, we can't actually make him serious. Let's make him a dinosaur that comes out and dances to his song about his mama. Let's do that. And that's just him as a wrestler, right? You see the videos pop up from time to time online of how bad he is in the ring.
The guy can't move. Bono can move.
He's
better
49
than him.
years old. He's 49 years old. And that's just the in-ring aspect of this. There isn't the multiple allegations against him, the fact that he offers nothing to the world of professional wrestling, and the fact that you went from Trevor Murdoch to Tyrus. Just think about that for a second. This NWA company, the one that says, we can't do women's wrestling. No, we can't do that. This NWA company that just lost its meal ticket to any show in Nick Aldis. You can like Nick Aldis, you can hate Nick Aldis. He still was the only guy that ever was brought somewhere by other bigger companies because he's the only guy worth a damn.
Yeah.
You lost him. And now you go from WWE jobber to WWE jobber as your NWA World Champion. That's how these two are forever going to be looked at. It's just the truth, right? Impact was mocked for years for bringing in low mid-card guys and building up, right? But here's the difference between what they did and what this company did. And I think they did bring in Tyrus at one point. But you know what? He wasn't 49 years old.
They did bring in Tyrus at one point.
They didn't put the world title on him. I'm pretty sure you know what he was? A heavy, because that's all he could ever do. And now you're putting world titles on him? I read that the story was that he had to win for his family. Are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah, he's the baby face.
Are you idiots? The 100 people that watch this show, if you're listening to this and you watch NWA, first stop listening to this, because you're not going to like what you have to hear. Well, actually, it's too late. You already don't like what you have to hear.
We're already 25 minutes in complaining about the NWA.
But this fucking company just gets worse by the day, and now it has the biggest piece of shit as their world champion. The biggest piece of shit. How does it get worse? This same show had EC3 being a piece of shit as a storyline. And they somehow said, watch this. Gave the title to Tyrus, the baby face, when you had one saving grace in that match, which was Matt Cardona. You have one saving grace.
Which I'll admit, his heat right now, Matt Cardona, has died down a lot.
Yeah.
But if you're a booker, you'll reignite that heat,
get
him back to where he was, and now you have a brand new star to lead you into the next bit.
Yeah, you had a get out of jail free card. Instead, you said, let's double down. Let's really go to jail with the allegations guy. No, this is a great idea. This company fucking sucks. It's not worth anyone's time. It's not. The fact that we've spent this much time on it, it's the last time we're talking about the NWA until they bring in Marty Scurll, because that's going to happen next, because Billy Corgan's a piece of... No, I'm going to... I'm gonna stop. If you enjoy the Smashing Pumpkins, let me just tell you, you have the worst pro wrestling booker of all time as the lead. So congratulations.
Yeah, you're right. We're not going to talk about the NWA. The next thing we're going to hear about them is probably that, women suck or something, or that
He already does say that.
That's true. Or like Marty Scrawl's coming in, or I don't know.
Every time I think it can't get worse, it gets worse.
Our new title match announced is gonna be Tyrus versus David Starr.
Jesus
I don't fucking know.
Versus Joey Ryan.
Yeah.
This guy's gonna bring out all the piece of the shit because he's a piece of shit.
Yeah.
I hate this company. Like I don't hate things in wrestling majority of the time. I hate Alberto Del Rio and I hate this fucking company. Congratulations.
Alberto's taking bookings though. NWA.
I know. NWA is probably next. It's just.
It's circling the drain.
I want to apologize to every time I've ever complained about wrestling on this show, and you know why I complain about wrestling or am critical about wrestling. It's not always complaining. Is because I care about those products. This is just a shame.
Yeah.
This is just sadness that this exists.
You and I care about wrestling so much that when this shit happens, you and I get visibly upset and angry.
Like, I understand that, like, no one gives a shit about the NWA. No one cares, right? Like, as the actual brand, no one cares about this promotion. It had a little buzz. The pandemic killed it, plus a certain, sex pest writer leaving. That also killed it.
Head Booker also left.
Head Booker, pretty much, That didn't help, right?
Yeah.
That helped nuke it. And then we come back and it's just awful, and it gets worse and it gets worse and it gets worse and it gets worse.
Yeah. And now you have former people in your office saying that this company is an embarrassment. It is embarrassment, and we're not going to talk about it again. I talked about it before the show that every year I sort of think about promotions I'm kicking to the curb, promotions I'm bringing on. This year was Noah for our show for Ring Post Radio. We brought on Noah and started talking about them a lot. Maybe next year we'll drop Noah. We'll talk about Dragon Gate or talk about All Japan or something. I don't know
what Noah has done this year. I know a lot of people complain. A lot of people is nothing.
No,
compared to the NWA.
No, it is taking them to task, and that's a lot of the thing too. Is that, like, I get it, it's easy to just write off the NWA and stuff, but it's so frustrating when you see, people complaining, like, about minute issues with certain companies and saying that they're failing. Writing threads all over the place about why a company needs to change what they're doing or they're failing. AEW had one bad month, and they went down in the key demo for 1 month.
That's because people care.
For 1 month, yeah, they care about it. At the end of the day, I wouldn't be complaining this much about the NWA if I didn't ultimately care about wrestling, didn't care about the NWA in some facet.
Exactly.
I want this company to be better. I want to talk about this company in a better light.
It's not.
It does. It serves a purpose of, like, this middling, these middling talents that don't necessarily have homes anywhere.
Yeah, that's the problem. It's like, this should be a place where certain talents can go and they can get a shot. There's talents that deserve it.
There's young guys in there that I'm enjoying. I'm enjoying Mims.
Carino?
I'm enjoying Colby Carino. I think he's doing great work in there.
Yeah.
I'm enjoying Mims as a guy they've been slowly building up. Like I've said before, I think Camille has been doing great stuff in there as well. What they're doing, they're building up Kylan King as well, so that's something. There's a couple things, there's a couple things down the list that's like, oh yeah, there are elements of here that I like, but the overwhelming pile of bad is so bad and so overwhelming that it's just I can't do it. I can't do it anymore, man.
No, I mean, I could never do it, to be fair, but I always looked at NWA as at least it's a place people can work, right? Get reps in.
Yeah.
And I think that's what people look at Impact as for a lot of years when they were, like, going through all their channels.
Yeah.
When they were channel surfing.
Yeah.
For a while there, but I think Impact has established itself now as an actual, like, grounded company, despite bringing the likes of Bully Ray and whatnot, which is somehow not even anywhere to the level of crowning Tyrus as your world champion. But you get my point.
Yeah.
I'm done talking about NWA. We have so much good to talk about. Let's stop talking about this dog shit.
Let's move on. Let's talk about some great stuff that I have been enjoying, that I think is one of the best wrestling television products going today.
Oh, it still is. That's the best part. Like, I was at the Dynamite and Rampage this week, so like, I had a great time, and that's live wrestling. Like, it's hard to not have a great time at live wrestling.
Yeah.
But it's like the reason people feel okay. We're talking about AEW.
Yep.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah.
The reason people feel the way they do is because they care about it so much. I just said this. Like, we care about wrestling so much, which is why we talk about AEW. People care about AEW so much, and I think, and I said this last week or the week before, Full Gear is the reset. We're just trying to get there, right?
Yeah.
And you know, it's asking a lot of a guy who's only booked for 3 years. I know people, they act like that's a lot, but it's not a lot. Okay, when you book what, 2 TV shows a week?
Yeah,
and
for a long time, just the one.
Right, one time just the one, and sometimes still just the one.
Yeah.
But like, it's hard to get mad at Tony Khan and what he's doing because he watched his world come crashing down. His world being
his biggest
money, his top stars,
his biggest money draw, in the company, and 3 of his executives,
3 of the staples,
and 3 of the staples of the company,
the elite of all elite wrestling,
immediately disappear.
Yeah. So like, I understand, and I know I come on here a few weeks ago or whatever it was, and like, I have problems with this and this and this, and I don't think Tony Khan is a perfect booker, but boy, do I get a better appreciation when the Billy Corgans of the world exist.
Yeah. The biggest upset that you and I have for AEW sometimes are, hey, I haven't seen this guy in a while. Love to see him on television. It's not like
I've started to see them a little bit.
Yeah, it's not like we're bringing on fucking pieces of crap and putting him as champion.
Yeah, exactly. It's just the same guys every week. It's like, oh well, you just have like all these good talents. Just cycle them in a little bit. But I mean, I appreciate AEW so much more than every time we get the shitty wrestling companies doing what they do.
Yeah, I totally agree.
This is still the best American product there is.
Yeah. And
I don't think it's close.
Like I said, they have some faults, but I think the faults are
way
minuscule than people. Way more minuscule than people are making them out to be.
Yeah, I mean, that's what you do when you love something. When you love AEW, when you want AEW to succeed. And I think part of the problem also is that, right, it's like WWE has things that are working now, right? It's not that their shows are good, because they're not. They're not good, complete shows. So let's stop acting like that.
No.
But they're having things that are actually decent now. So it's like, oh, we can actually compare a little bit. Not a lot of things, but something.
And there is an element with the WWE that things are happening. For a very long time.
They are doing things at all times. I will give them that.
Things constantly feel like they're happening.
Yeah.
So it's interesting. It all is interesting. But let's talk about AEW. They have a pay-per-view this Saturday. It is called Full Gear. You may have heard of it.
I have
Yeah,
heard of it.
9 matches announced so far, but of course they'll probably announce.
We're far from done.
We'll probably announce at least 5 more. Yeah. So strap in, folks. Between now and Saturday, they'll probably announce 5 more matches. Don't know what they'll be.
I went through this with some people. So TNT title match. Are you including the tournament eliminator final?
The list I'm looking at includes the tournament final. Yeah, but the TNT with Joe maybe, but at least Hobbs and Wardlow. Yeah. That's 1.
The trios match, obviously, with Death Triangle and the Elite.
Yep, that's 2.
And then pre-show matches.
And they usually do like 1 or 2 previews.
They did 3 last time.
They did do 3 last
time. I'm hoping
Eddie
and June, Uncle June.
That would be fantastic. We'll say Eddie and June.
I'll say Eddie and someone.
Hook versus
maybe Lee Moriarty and Hook. Yeah,
I was gonna say Hook, Lee Moriarty. Okay. Can we make a 5th?
One more tag, maybe.
Maybe a tag. Maybe a women's match. We need a women's match in the pre-show.
They do have 3 on the card. I'm very proud of them. But Yeah, you could do some women's tag. Maybe get I don't know if Sheeta's around, but you could always do like, one of the fun tags that they do. Actually, they have all the women that they usually booked for this show. So this is I'm
Maybe
impressed.
maybe you do Athena. Who was Athena tagging with for a second there?
I don't know. She's just bullying people on
I know, maybe.
Dark.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's like maybe you did that, and then you do a
Yeah.
split, and so something's
Yeah, you
happening
could
with the
do a
show.
women's match for sure, or you could do like something with some of the Eliminator competitors too. Maybe just toss Bandito on there.
Yeah, why not? Put Bandito in there with a 6-man tag and just go crazy.
Yeah, just let them go nuts like you did with the House of Black and
Yeah,
was it
have all the
Lucha Bros and
losers.
Eric Rowan?
Have all the losers of the tournament.
Yeah,
Put them in. We got Bandito. We got we're assuming
we're assuming
Bandito's
Bandito.
losing. Bandito.
Roosh.
Bandito and Dante Martin versus
go.
Roosh and
Roosh.
Brian Cage.
Sure.
Why
See
not?
why not?
Why not?
And then that way you continue my idea of using people, like using other people, right? It's like it's so simple. It's so simple in these things.
You would think
Like
so.
Tony Khan is just like, you know what, you're booked this week, and it's fixed.
Yeah. I think a lot of the issues that people have, and I think a lot of the comparisons between WWE and AEW right now, and why AEW is floundering or whatever, is because WWE has the feeling that stuff is constantly happening, while AEW is stretching those stories out way longer, so it doesn't necessarily feel like something is happening every week. But
someone hasn't got a 4.5-star match in a while, so people are freaking out.
That's also true. Let's talk about the show.
Kenny, get your ass back in here.
We got a big show happening to do for Full Gear. Like you said, 9 matches already announced. It's going to be, we can come up with 4 to 5 more.
Yeah, we just did pretty easily.
So let's talk about the main event. More than likely, not even more than likely, it probably will be it.
More than likely,
Jon Moxley versus MJF for the AEW World Championship. This is the cash in for the poker chip. It's happening here at Full Gear. It's official. Jon Moxley, MJF. They've obviously been teasing the idea of wanting to be 110%. There's the firm that is looming over this entire match. The Stokely Hathaway aspect of it all is looming over this entire match, at least for the MJF.
Firm better not touch this match.
Yeah, I hope not either. But what do you think about this match? How are you feeling? What's your vibes going into? I didn't ask you what your vibes are for the whole pay-per-view, but what are your vibes and how are you feeling about this?
You could ask me vibes about the whole pay-per-view after I talk about the main event.
Sure.
Vibes. I'm excited for the main event. Obviously, I mean it's one of the most exciting, one of the bigger main events in AEW history. I feel like I say that all the time, but this is big in more ways than just a match itself. It's big in helping reestablish AEW moving forward. It's big at potentially crowning your guy, right? You're like, I know Jon Moxley's been their guy, but let's all just sit here and be honest. MJF is the guy of this company. It's apparent every single week when the guy talks on a microphone.
Every week he has a promo of the year.
Yeah, like this dude is. I don't want to repeat everything that he just says about himself, but he legitimately is generational. He is the guy. But it's not as cut and dry of crowning him or not. Like that's the fun of this main event. It's like, do they crown him?
Yeah.
Do they not crown him? I would. I think it's just time. I said this when he won the chip. Get the title to MJF. Mm-hmm. That is what we've all been waiting for. I don't care who he's beating, just have him beat him. Let Jon Moxley take some time away. The dude's earned it and then some. Right? Yeah. He was supposed to go on vacation, and then shit hit the fan, and he not only committed himself to coming back, he has worked every single freaking show you needed him and more. He's even worked New Japan. Let this guy take his rest, right? Let this guy go away with his wife and kid and just take some time off. And I say that while Renee will probably be on weekly talking, but like, just let him rest. Let him rest his body a little bit. This guy, since coming back from, a brave task of, putting himself in rehab, has not stopped. He has not stopped. Let this guy rest. He's been fantastic. He's been a tremendous champion, leader, ace, whatever you want to call him. Let him rest. It's time to crown the guy, your guy. And then you can play with the fact if MJF is heel or babyface or not. You can decide that in this match. Does he cheat to win? Does he not cheat to win? That's the fun of all this. It's a massive main event, a chance to be a legitimate match of the year contender because of how good they both are at not only wrestling but storytelling. I can't wait. I think you got to crown MJF as champion.
Yeah, there's no doubt this is a massive main event. I mean, it's ace of the company versus future of the company. That's ultimately what this is. You have, uh, I would say, for the large part, we can make our guesses of MJF versus Moxley, but at the end of the day, I think it's really hard to decide. For me, it's a coin flip. I have no idea who's going to win the title. I have no idea who's going to come out of this as the heel baby face, grouping of all these things. I could see a Moxley turning heel in some aspect. I think
the crowd turns sour if Moxley wins.
That's possible. It's certainly possible. It is, it is where the Prudential Center, is a little bit of MJF's hometown. Not necessarily, but close enough compared to Moxley. Yeah, they could easily just do that, and I can see and they've teased the idea of Moxley going heel before. That seemingly was the plan at one point in time. They could go back to that easily, and then BCC gets more interesting between Yuta and Claudio versus like a heel Danielson and Moxley sort of situation.
Sure,
that could be interesting. Give them more edge or something like that. I don't know. Yeah, but then and then you have the firm getting involved. It's the whole thing is just wildly speculative, and ultimately, to me, that is the perfect sell for a pay-per-view. Is I don't know, would you rather watch a football game that is a blowout, or would you rather watch one that is I have no idea who's going to win and it's going to be fantastic?
Right. This is the Super Bowl for AEW. This is the ultimate game after a long year of ups and downs with this title, with this company, with this title especially. Ups and downs all year for the title, ups and downs the past couple of months for the company. Let me rephrase it that way because the company did pretty well for 8 months straight. With or without CM Punk, which is why I'm confident they'll get back to it. Being that level, I should say. They also had a lot of injuries back then, so it wasn't even just CM Punk. But my point is, this is the one. This is the game. Crown your champion, whoever you want. I just don't feel the need to wait anymore with MJF.
Yeah, I think the argument I can have for Moxley though is one, Ace the company is doing. He's been working hard the entire time. Boy, howdy, is he doing great stuff. So I'm enjoying all of that. At the same time, at Uncle Howdy, Uncle Boy Howdy. At the same time, though, I think it's also a good idea to keep the title on Moxley to maintain a sort of calmness when it comes to the world title picture. Just keeping it on the guy that we know works. That just calm waters. Let's have it calm down a little bit. And then maybe, we'll change the title down the line. But this ultimately, like you're sort of saying, really ultimately feels like it's MJF's time. Now, the problem there, we've kind of talked about this before, is let's say we're not putting the title on MJF. How then do you not sour the crowd? How do you do something where, the heat is on MJF? Maybe he cheats or whatever, heat's on the firm or whatever. How do we get something that we don't crown MJF, but it's still a satisfying conclusion to a pay-per-view? That's the challenge to me.
Like you have the biggest possible name show up after, but it's like
Nick Aldis?
No. Like I wouldn't say, for example,
Tyrus, the NWA World Heavyweight Champion.
Like the Elite is an obvious answer, but it's like no, they should be wrestling on this show because we know they're sitting in the backstage this whole time doing nothing,
filming a show, filming a reality content.
Right. So it's like I think the thing with MJF, right, is you listen to that promo this past week that he said on the podcast. in quotations on the podcast. Clearly didn't say it till then because it wasn't on the podcast. Someone would have noticed that. And everything he said was right. Like I remember sitting here last year complaining about MJF and how he was handled, right? The Jericho stuff did take up a year of his career.
And it did slow him down a lot. It ate a lot of
really
his momentum.
It really did. You know, Moxley beat him by cheating. That was funny. Which I thought back then he wasn't ready to be champion anyways.
Yeah.
You know, the he returns and it's all about a stupid press conference. That's true. That's exactly what happened. There's been so many stops and goes with this guy, yet somehow, some way, he remains the hottest commodity in pro wrestling right now. That's a credit to him. It's a credit to his talent. I think Tony Khan's smart enough that yes, you can create a buzz if he loses. I feel like you have to be embracing full on babyface if he loses.
Yeah, my view of that promo and endings to this match are, you know, having the firm steal his spotlight. You know, you had Jericho, you know, all this stuff. You had the press conference.
Be a bold move to
have the firm steal that, and then he's baby against the firm. You know,
you would need a new leader of the firm in terms of main event talent.
Yeah, Ethan Page is not enough, I think, and you need something different. Like
for a winter is coming match in Garland, Texas.
Yeah,
it does feel like you're going to go with MJF here, and that the obvious match is him and Ricky Starks,
Texas own.
Yes, Texas own Ricky Starks. Like, just think about the promos, the build, the excitement. Like, that is your biggest out of your possibilities, right? That is the biggest match you can do. Yeah. No offense to Ethan Page, but Ethan Page versus MJF is it screams a normal Dynamite match. That is what that is, right?
Sure.
He can go through the firm if you want to. I don't think they have any clue if they're going to be having this guy be a heel or not yet. I really don't. I think they're just going to go with what the fans want, because at the end of the day, the fans decide this stuff.
It's going to be interesting. I think that's the most interesting aspect of this whole thing is how the heel face dynamics are going to come out of this. Yeah, we have shades of gray, of course, but you know, obviously they 50? weren't planning on having Ethan Page shoot up as the next upper mid card top heel. You know, if they were,
I think it's okay.
If they were, they would have shot him
getting wins for a while.
He would have been getting wins for a while. He would have shot up way sooner, or you know, he would have shot up months ago, so they can build him up more. You know, in this case, it's just sort of like MJF is getting cheered. We have to separate the firm from MJF, and we need Ethan Page to be someone. They could replace him with someone else. I have no idea who that would be, or but we'll see.
They got money heels ready to go, right? They're currently just in tag teams and factions, right? You got Swerve, who's just being incredible. It's just like, we have to get through this tag team match.
Yeah. But it feels like they might lose.
And then you have dastardly little Pac over here who's being like, yeah, you gotta use the hammer. You gotta use the hammer. And it's like, I love those little things. And it's like, okay, you got those two.
But look, well, real quickly, I'm just gonna say this.
Do we need heels though? Because MJF might be a heel.
Yeah, that's the ultimate question. I will say though, if Pac is gonna keep saying use a hammer, I need you to add a burning hammer to your arsenal, and then I'll pop through. I want to
absolutely drills Phoenix with a burning hammer after they lose the titles.
Yeah, why not? Why not? Fuck it, let's just do it. I want to.
Just trying to kill poor Phoenix.
I want to see. Oh, hey, welcome back, Nick Jackson. Burning hammer, just right, just right on the ground or something. No, you're right. They're building up, and I think that's also true. Is that they probably understand that they are potentially losing a heel, and so they are trying to quickly build up Pac as the heel, quickly, do that split, potentially. Swerve, that split is already sort of planned, sort of potentially. We'll see how it goes out. Pac, I already said. It was the other guy you just said. Ethan Page, that was a guy. They're trying to build up stuff. They don't have anyone, I don't think, that is like MJF level top heel, like biggest heel in the company. No. I think Swerve has the potential to be that, but
I do too.
He hasn't been a singles heel enough where he can be like the top heel, if that makes sense.
Right.
But yeah,
Not yet, at least.
it's
Not yet,
ultimately
at
we got to
least.
figure that out. Yeah, and
That's
maybe
a build-up scenario.
and maybe you build that up, and then you can build it up on the build to Winter's Coming, and then for the next pay-per-view you can build up even more. That they have time to figure
you
it
got
out.
guys to plug in.
Yeah,
And again, you got to establish what MJF is.
and conversely, if MJF is going face, you could do Moxley as heel, and or
easily,
or cement Danielson as heel.
Again, yeah.
There are certain aspects to it that they can.
You got Jericho technically as your biggest heel.
That's true. That is true.
Jericho, but I don't want to run that back at all.
Yeah, no.
But they have options. They do have options. Just a matter of committing to certain options, which I'm sure they will. That's what this pay-per-view is for. But we just talked about this one match for like 20 minutes, so that's how exciting it is, right?
Well, let's talk about continuing the conversation about options. Let's talk about it. AEW World Tag Team Title match: Swerve and Our Glory, Keith Lee and Swerve Strickland versus the Acclaimed Bowens and Caster. This is an interesting one to me. I sort of feel like you put the titles back on Swerve and Keith Lee. If you told me months ago, we're going to switch the titles and then do the match again for the third time, I would have said maybe put the titles back on, because I was sort of thinking that we give the Acclaimed a cup of coffee win, but they are continuously proving themselves as merch sellers and becoming ratings drawers, the Acclaimed. So it's like, all right.
Everyone loves the Acclaimed.
Yeah, everyone loves the Acclaim. All right, maybe we don't have them lose the titles. Maybe we actually do keep the titles on them. And maybe we finally cement a split between Keith Lee and Swerve Strickland with new manager Rick Ross. Maybe that's the move.
Outside of the Rick Ross part, I think that's definitely what they're going to do.
Well, they should be doing the Rick Ross part, because that is money right there. That's money, Rick Ross right there.
I think it's time for them to split these two. You create two single stars that you at times have needed. I wouldn't say fully need, but it would be nice to have both of them as single stars. After all, that's what they are.
Yeah. And you can easily move Keith Lee into the TNT title picture.
Yeah, we can just make it the Haas.
The Haas title, yeah.
But I think that'd be a good call. I don't have like a lot of thoughts about this match actually. Like, I think it's the Acclaim. You got to have them win because of all the things you said, and then you got to make the split. I'm not excited for this only because it's like I just saw this twice.
Sure, they've both been really good though.
They have. I don't know how they're gonna make it different.
That's fair,
because we've been teasing these Swerve Keith Lee problems since they became a tag team. So it's not like that's a new like little part of it. It's gonna be interesting though to see how they do it. It would be nice to see the Acclaim win this time clean without the help of Daddy Ass, but
I say you just run back the Revolution tag match with the Bucks and Omega and Page. Let's just run back that match and do the exact same thing, end the match, and
so what you're saying is get rid of all four of these guys and just put those four in?
No. You do the exact same match.
Man, no Hangman on this paper.
You do the exact same match with the Acclaimed and do the exact same match with Swerve and Keith Lee. And then at the end of the match, Swerve is on the ropes, looking like he's about to do a thing to Keith Lee, and then that's it. And then that's the match. No,
this time he doesn't though.
This time he does it. This time we do the tease and then we commit to the tease. That's actually not a bad idea. I wonder if Paige will come back. Should be a great
match though.
I wonder if Paige does come back. That's interesting. Because
back. Or they save him for the Dynamite after.
That's true. I mean, why not do it? Announce, Paige is coming on the Dynamite. We'll see him in action. But this match, I think you're right. I think it's fair to say that there are concerns of how they make this different. They've definitely added aspects, with the Billy Gunn stuff of, having Billy Gunn more involved in the match, which I don't think is a good idea.
I'm an ass man.
But we'll see how it all comes out.
Daddy ass
himself.
By the way, I was in I wanted to talk about this like throughout as our preview and how I was in the building, obviously.
Yeah.
Everybody loves the Acclaim. I don't know what it sounded like on TV because I didn't watch it back. The building was not full, by the way, at all.
Was it? What percentage would you say full?
Probably 70.
All right. It's not too bad.
There was 2 sections that were completely tarped off, but everywhere
Okay.
else was mostly full. Was it loud on TV? It was loud in there.
It was pretty loud.
That's impressive. I thought we did pretty good. But the Acclaim, FTR, I had a list of who was most over. It was Acclaim, FTR, Jamie Hayter,
yeah,
Willow Nightingale, / Riho because they teamed together on Dark.
All right.
And probably Moxley. MJF wasn't in the building, so I didn't include him. But when his promo popped up, people did get very excited.
There was a lot of praise for the crowd for his promo, that really popping to everything he was saying at the right moments. And everything. It was good, really good crowd in Boston.
Thank you. Tony Khan promised us a pay-per-view, so he better give us one now.
Yeah. We'll see. He promised you a pay-per-view. We'll see how the go-home show goes. AEW World Championship Eliminator Tournament Final will be happening here as well. We don't have the match yet, but we know that the semifinals are taking place this week, kind of. We
have no idea what Ricky Starks is wrestling.
We have Ethan Page versus Bandito on one side. They're wrestling this Wednesday. It's believed that the first round quarterfinal match of Lance Archer versus Ricky Starks is happening this Wednesday as well. On Rampage, they said, quote, next week, which could be Dynamite, could be Rampage. They didn't say next week and show a graphic for Dynamite. They just said, we'll see Ricky Starks wrestle Lance Archer next week. Well, I don't know. We'll see. Maybe that's what, because they're recording Rampage on Wednesday. Maybe that was a little slip. That is on Dynamite. But yeah, if that's the case, then it'll probably be Dynamite, Lance Archer versus Ricky Starks. And then on Rampage, Brian Cage versus whoever the guy is. So the idea is there, I believe it's being taped on Wednesday as well, that you might have Ricky Starks wrestling two matches one night.
Rampage is live.
The Rampage is live? Oh, then perfect.
The same building as Full Gear the next day.
Oh, yeah. You're right. All right, so then you got that. You got that idea. So you and I both believe that it's kind of probably looking like Ethan Page versus Ricky Starks. How do you feel about that as a final for this match, for this pay-per-view?
Listen, Tony Khan did what I asked. He's trying to elevate guys. Do I necessarily agree that it should be Ethan Page? Not necessarily. But listen, he's doing it. And that alone is good enough for me. That's how you have to look at this. If people are going to complain and whatever. Do I think Ethan Page is a main event talent? Absolutely not. But he is a decent enough heel. He's going to have the advantage because Ricky Starks was not only attacked, but he had 2 matches this week. Ricky Starks is that pure baby face who's getting over naturally. It's going to be a very good match based off of that alone. Now, again, whoever wins this is really based on which way MJF's going, I think. If MJF's going heel, Ricky Starks has to win, which I think is what they want to stay with at the very least.
Yeah.
And
I think that's the better idea.
Personally. Yeah, I think it's just a better match. It's in Texas, feels natural.
I guess unless Mox goes heel, I think that's
right.
There's that.
Right. Exactly. But I think it should be Ricky Starks taking it all. I think he should win all 3 matches this week. You really create him as this underdog baby face who just gets through it all. But I could see him lose that last match because he did have all the matches to protect him, because this company, they do love to protect people.
That's a very funny thought, is that what's interesting about this match is that if Ricky Starks wins, right? If Ethan Page wins, it doesn't necessarily tell me who's winning the main event. It just tells me who is walking, what alignment the champion is walking out as.
Yeah, that's all it tells us, because I have no idea. That's why I love this main event. That's why I'm so excited. I saw some people say this build for this main event was bad, and I was like, all right, what are we watching? This has been the only consistent thing every single week. It's great every single time.
Yeah.
What are we doing here?
I really think Full Gear is going to have a good reset on people's brains and get us right there. Man. I mean, the pay-per-view
it's a great show on paper.
Yeah. Well, I'm seeing a lot of tweets. We can talk about that. We didn't talk about overall thoughts on pay-per-view. I've been seeing a lot of tweets of people saying this is one of the worst pay-per-view cards for AEW. I've been seeing a lot of tweets.
I thought All Out had a worse card.
Let's talk. Let me boot up All Out. Let's talk about All Out.
I don't even
Let's.
remember All Out.
Yeah, that was a blur. Let's see.
I
What do
just
we got?
remember the Elite and Dark Order kicked ass.
We got the Casino Ladder match of MJF. We have
That kind of
the Elite versus Dark Order and the Adam Page, like you said.
that was great.
Jade Cargill versus Athena. I remember
That was
that not being
whatever.
that good.
I didn't like it. People did,
Wardlow and
but I didn't like it.
FTR versus Jay Lethal and Motor City Machine Guns. I remember that being
That was a
disappointing.
wicked fart.
Yeah, that was a disappointment. Hobbs versus Starks. That was disappointing.
That was a disappointment.
But it was story, so whatever.
Yeah, it was still a disappointment. But yeah,
Swerve and Our Glory versus the Acclaimed.
That was great.
Or we should say also we're
Going
saying,
into it on paper, it wasn't exciting.
that's what I'm saying. We should probably start saying on paper, how do we feel going into these matches?
Yeah.
Casino ladder match, sure, that should be fun. The Elite Page Dark Order, that should be great. That's how I felt. Jade Cargill versus Athena. All right, we'll see. That's how I felt at the time.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm not mistaken. Wardlow and FTR versus Lethal Machine Guns. That should be good.
The idea was fun.
Yeah. Powerhouse Hobbs versus Starks. That should be good. And, the disappointments. Swerve and Glory, the Acclaimed. Hopefully it's as good as the last
I didn't
one.
have nearly as... That was the first time they did it, so I had nearly not as much hope.
Storm versus Baker. Storm versus Baker versus Hayter versus Sheeta. I believe at the time we were thinking, this is the Hayter turn. Here we go, baby.
Thanks for that reminder.
Jericho versus Danielson. I think I thought this.
I was definitely pumped about that, and then it was a letdown.
Darby Allin, Sting, and Miro versus House of Black.
I don't remember that match at all.
Yeah. And then CM Punk versus Moxley.
Well, of course, I was pumped for that. Yeah, I mean, I think this is pretty similar, if not higher. Like, that's the funny thing. It's like, I'm more pumped for a lot of these matches. And I think it helps that the Elite's coming back for the second straight pay-per-view too.
There we go, baby. Every pay-per-view, this should come back.
This time it should be an even better match because of who they're wrestling.
Yeah.
And the chemistry all 6 of them have.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that's funny. That's funny that people are so down this card, but you look at it, it's actually like this is the best like women's matches we've had, I think.
Yeah.
At least singles wise, that AEW pay-per-views ever had. Even if one is going to be questionable.
Yeah,
for many reasons.
There's one that's gonna be. We'll see how that goes.
And that's not the Jade Cargill match.
Yeah. There's one that is a we'll see, I guess.
Kind of scared of that one.
Yeah,
but
Well, let's talk about the women's wrestling. AEW Women's World Championship match. Toni Storm versus Jamie Hayter. I think this match should kick ass. This is
the most excited I've been for a women's title match in AEW history.
I'll go as far as saying that I'm probably the most excited for this match. Maybe that says something. I'm very excited for Moxley MJF.
We're all on the Jamie Hayter sauce.
Yeah, okay. But I'm on the sauce, dude. I'm on the sauce for sure. The Jamie Hayter Toni Storm sauce. I'm never mind.
Yeah.
I was gonna say a verb.
You're on the juice.
I was on the juice.
Sorry. Toni Storm's got juice. Robinson.
Ooh, baby.
Robinson. I said Juice Robinson. God.
No, that's fine.
Some people might just assume that might have skipped the Robinson part, so I had to make sure you heard that.
Yeah, no, I weirdly I think I'm the most excited for this match over the entire card. They have been the matches the two of them have been great so far. I've really enjoyed them. I think they've done phenomenal stuff. I think a pay-per-view quality match could be even better. I think Jamie Hayter has come even more into her own in the past couple weeks, which I thought was impossible, but she has. And Toni Storm, I think, is just a really great champion right now for the women's division.
Stardom influences the world. Everybody, you're welcome.
There we go.
2 former Stardom wrestlers here, 2 of the better occasions to ever go into Stardom and come out. Of course, Toni Storm, former World of Stardom champion. Jamie Hayter was there right before the pandemic. The only reason she left is because of the pandemic, actually.
Yeah.
But Jamie Hayter, I mean, like I said earlier, she was so over at that show. Her theme song, by the way, in person, oh my god, it's incredible. It's incredible
kicks
stuff.
ass. It kicks ass every time.
She has the presence about her, like in the entrance, like she knows she's the shit. As she should. Toni Storm has the presence about her as a champion. She knows she's the champ. That matters, you know. I think that's something that, you know, Britt Baker, for all her flaws, she knew she was the champ. She knows she's the
She had the swag.
person of this division.
You can't
She had
deny
the swagger.
You can't deny the swagger that Britt Baker has.
No,
ultimately.
And Tony has that. Jamie Hayter has that, but they're also better in the ring. Yeah. So that's why this is so exciting.
Not only that, but I love that we've added this sort of out of nowhere element to Jamie Hayter's lariat.
Yes, the out of nowhere, I call it the haymaker by obvious reasons. Someone said the hate maker, and I was like, that's pretty good.
That's fine. Yeah, that's fine. The hater maker? Is that something? No.
Hater maker?
That's too many.
I thought
too
the
many
hate
letters.
maker was just like obvious, but
yeah.
hate maker was kind of funny. Yeah. Either way, that's not part of this at all. This should be, and I'm going to say it now, it will be the best women's match on an AEW pay-per-view ever. Serena Deeb and Riho didn't happen on the pay-per-view, it happened on the buy-in. So true. It doesn't have to beat that. I don't even know what it has to beat, honestly, off the top of my head. Maybe that 4-way from last
I was gonna say, I thought you were gonna say the very first 4-way with
Oh no. Maybe this one, maybe that one. Like, I don't remember. But I have a lot of confidence in these two and their relationship and just how much they've gotten over. The fun game now will be, will they crown Jamie Hayter? Will Britt Baker possibly turn if she already wrestled earlier in the night? Will she cost her the match accidentally again? Like, there's many ways to go here. I don't want Jamie Hayter's first title win to be with the interim title.
That's fair. I get that. I guess at the end of the day, we also have to remember that at some point Thunder Rosa's returning.
She just started to walk or jog or something. So, she's actually hurt people.
She's moving faster than Tyrus, I hear. No, yeah, I think this match will be very good. And I get that. I get that you don't necessarily want it to be the interim, but at the end of the day, it is what it is. It's just kind of how it's gonna be. But we'll find out.
Great match.
Should be a good match. 4-way for the ROH World Championship: Chris Jericho versus Danielson versus Claudio Castagnoli versus Sammy Guevara. Sammy Guevara. Yeah, I mean, I'm not jazzed about it being a 4-way. I'm not totally jazzed about that, but I've seen Jericho and Danielson enough times where I'm not necessarily too interested in seeing that match. Claudio, I think, Claudio's done good stuff in multi-mans before. I feel like he's a weirdly good multi-man wrestler. He's just a good wrestler, but so I'm not completely jazzed about that. However, I think, this is all just, to me, how do you feel about every match preview being, I think this, to me, is just going to lead to a breakup angle between Danielson and Claudio, and we'll get to that. I mean, how do you feel about every match having some sort of weird breakup angle?
It's so weird. I took notice this week that this entire JAS versus Blackpool Combat Club story for the past 3-4 months has been about Daniel Garcia and kind of Wheeler Yuta too. And they're nowhere to be found on this card. I was like, why is Sammy Guevara in this match? Like, I sat there, I was like, is it because he's just the number 2 in the group? Is that why? Like,
yeah.
There's no rhyme or reason to have him in this match. Daniel Garcia would have made a lot of sense. Would have been a better match, I think. But Sammy's gonna do some crazy shit. I'm sure it'll work. It'll help the match.
Yeah,
but it's like
there's gonna be a fantastic spot where Sammy Guevara does like a springboard backflip into an uppercut from Claudio.
Yeah, absolutely. But it's just like you focus the story on these two guys, right? Like, and they just have nothing to do. I just don't get it. This story could end frankly. At any moment, I'll be happy.
Yeah.
I think Jericho wins. So
Yeah, I think Jericho wins as well. I don't see any sort of change,
it just feels like a way to get them all on the card. That's really what it feels like, which
I
is a
agree.
shame.
I agree. I do agree that it is weird that there are the elements that there's the fight between Jericho and Danielson, but they're fighting over Garcia. And
I
then you
mean,
have Claudio in there because he's fighting for Yuta.
my
We're fighting for these younger guys. Why not have them involved in some capacity? I don't know how. Maybe you put them. Maybe that's what you do. Maybe on the pre-show, you do Ring of Honor pure title match. Daniel Garcia versus Wheeler Yuta. I mean, maybe that's
yeah,
something.
I was really hoping they did Danielson and Yuta on this show. That's what I was really hoping for.
I think a better four-way is Danielson versus Yuta versus Garcia versus Jericho. I think that's a way messier pot that I would love to see.
For sure.
That being said, that's not the match. The match we're getting is Danielson, Claudio, Guevara, and Jericho. But, I think there's still going to be great work in it. I think at the end of the day, there's going to be great work. I'm not too jazzed, but, it is.
The match will probably kick ass. I'm actually I don't know why, because, four ways and whatnot can kind of stink sometimes, but I don't know. Look at the guys in there.
Yeah.
They'll be smart. They'll be smart.
Yeah, they know what they're doing at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Hopefully. hopefully know what they're doing. Let's talk about the next match, which is the AEW TBS Championship match. Jade Cargill versus Nyla Rose. I don't know how you feel about it, Scotty. I've been kind of enjoying the Nyla Rose TBS title storyline, mostly because it is a Nyla Rose title defense that is a different story.
It's not a Nyla Rose title
defense. In my eyes, it's a title defense.
In quotations.
It's a Nyla Rose title challenge. That is a different story than we've seen from Nyla Rose before. It's showcasing more of her charisma, which I think flies off the screen. She's hysterical. I think her versus Willow is a great idea. But yeah, no, I think I've been very intrigued by the story. I think it's been a good story. I think I've been enjoying it. And now we're here in the match. The match itself, I don't know. I think it has potential to be at least good. It's gonna be cool. The cool spot is ultimately gonna be, Jade Cargill, powerlifting Nyla Rose up for the Jaded. That's gonna be the cool spot. But I think that's ultimately all we're gonna get here.
I think it should be like 6-minute Haas fight sprint.
That's a great idea. I agree. I think a good sprint, which sounds plausible because of the story they've been telling.
How long the show is. I think that would be a great idea, and I think they could kick ass doing it. I'm actually really looking forward to this match. First Jade match I'm looking forward to in a long while.
Speaks to something.
And Nyla Rose is wicked entertaining. That is what it speaks to.
Oh yeah, and I really think
I need Red Velvet back though. By the way,
I guess there's a way to do that. She should be
not that it soon. Matters, but she should be back soon. I hope
she should be back soon. I think. I don't know. Anyways, let's move on to the next match as well. It's Britt Baker versus Saraya.
Oh, Jesus. Saraya.
Paige here. So speaking of story, how did that promo? How did that promo go for you?
By the way,
how did that promo go for you in the room?
Oh yeah, so that was the funny. This like exiting the building and seeing the reactions online was very interesting because I thought the Britt killed it.
Yeah,
I thought Britt killed it. People agreed. It's at least it sounded like to me. Like everyone thought Britt she really hit all her points. And Tokyo Dome Soraya over here. I understand where she was trying to go, right? Yes. It's that like I'm the superstar. I'm the one that's done this, done that way before you did. But the way she did it, it's like, who the fuck? What AEW fan is going to cheer for the WWE superstar over the AEW wrestler? You can't be the babyface in this scenario if that's where you're going.
Especially after the year we've had in AEW.
I know
that there has been, not every WWE former WWE wrestler has been accustomed to this. I think a lot of people have grown, have been able to adapt to the AEW audience better. Storm, Swerve, Lee, but not Swervely. But not every former WWE wrestler has been attributed to that, and I think Paige here is one of the people that are not doing that. I agree. I liked the emotion behind it. I liked what the idea she was going for. But
it was one of the hottest segments of the night in the building.
That's good to hear. That's good to hear. What was there a weird audience reaction to? Because obviously in this feud, Paige here is the face.
Yeah.
Or
they
treating
they were
like
with
face.
It was like, so this is how it went for Paige, right?
Sure.
Soraya, whatever the hell you want to call her. I keep messing it up. I'm
Paige
sorry.
here. Paige here works.
Paige here. Is that, she announces that she's finally cleared. That's a very emotional moment. People are very happy for her.
Yeah.
I was I brought my friend who doesn't watch every week, but he follows along on socials or whatever, but he knows Paige because he used to watch WWE, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
And he doesn't pay attention nearly as deeply as I do. So I'm like, I'm not huge on Paige and being back. It's just like it's been lukewarm for the most part so far. But she started off this by saying I'm cleared. I'm like, damn, kind of emotional. It's kind of good moment for her. And they were with her. And then, after Britt's done talking and Britt served her on a platter, and I was sitting there like, say something about Adam Cole. I dare you. Because, the cheap low blow is what they always go for. And she didn't go, she went for other cheap low blows instead.
Yeah.
But as Paige's promo went on, you could hear the crowd be like, wait a minute. Like, I don't know here.
Yeah.
I don't know here. Like, that's exactly how it sounded throughout the promo.
Less and less cheers.
I was like, maybe she's not onto something here. Yeah. And I still think it was a good segment in terms of it got people talking, obviously, and that's what matters. Yep. Not in the NWA form, but it I had to say it. But
we're gonna do that all the show.
They've set up the match where I'm intrigued now. Like, for weeks, I didn't really give a crap. Now I'm like, all right. One, it's her first match back. So, like, you have that, like, part of you that's like, okay, I can't wait to watch that and cringe every time she does something. Yep. It's not just something I've done with her. I did it with Edge. I did it with Danielson I still do sometimes.
Yeah.
Because he's a jerk and likes to sell those things. But, like, that's just a constant thing you do. It's her neck, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm going to be a little more cringier when she takes that curb stomp. But the segment was wild. But Britt did a great job. Yeah. I want to give her credit. She did a great job of selling this. She's put in the work. It's the house that Britt Baker built, not AJ Styles. It's the house that Britt Baker built.
She comes out.
That's all I could think of when she said the brick by brick thing. I was like, oh my god. But yeah, she gotta get the Britt Baker gloves. Instead, she'll do the not the diamond cutter, tooth.
Tooth? Oh, she'll make a tooth from her hands. God.
I'm intrigued.
Yeah, I think the intriguing aspect to me is just what Paige here is going to look like in the ring. She hasn't wrestled in years, and this is also coming off of an injury, so it's going to be interesting to see what it looks like. And yeah, I also agree is that the promo didn't sell Paige right for this feud. I mean, the idea of the sentiment is almost that she's like saying that, oh, I'm a legend in women's wrestling because I did this, this, and this, and this. But the idea for the AEW audience, who are hardcore AEW fans, freakazoids, as it were, is that, cool. That's cool, but you haven't done it here, but you haven't done it in this company.
The Tokyo Dome thing set off Twitter.
Yeah.
Well, when she said, I was like, not true.
I heard it too, and I was like, what?
I was thinking, because I was like, WWE never ran the Tokyo Dome. And there's no other company she's ever been a part of that would have.
Yeah.
So I was like, she must have meant like one of the other, which she did.
She later tweeted hall, saying, the Sumo Hall. Ryogoku Sumo Hall. Yeah. Whatever. But yeah, no. It's I don't know. The promo didn't make her come off good. You know, do you do a flip of heel face? We've been trying to figure out a way to get Britt face, I feel like, for a bit.
But they also have the Jamie Hayter thing going on.
I know.
So it's like, what the hell are we doing?
I know. It's gonna be.
I say this, but 3 women's matches that are actually intriguing. I appreciate. So
that's
in their own ways.
That's a great point. Let's move on to the next match. It's going to be Sting and Darby Allin. Sting coming back versus Jay Lethal and Jeff Jarrett.
JEFFJARRET.
We're getting a match here, baby. We're getting the old Ric Flair special. Jeff Jarrett
100% getting nailed in the head with that guitar and no selling it, and it's going to be great.
Yeah.
Sting, that is, by the way.
Yeah.
Darby, we know what happens when Darby gets hit in the head with the thing. He becomes a pile of blood.
Yeah. No, yeah, I think people are dogging on this match because they don't like Jeff Jarrett, and I think that's.
I don't like Jay Lethal, but he's my problem because I think he's so boring.
Yeah, you're like, I like Jeff Jarrett more than Jay Lethal.
I do.
Jeff Jarrett at least is 2 double J's. Jay Lethal is just.
He made fun of Braun Strowman on national TV. Shout out to him.
The guy knows where his bread is buttered. Yeah, no, it's I'm fine. I'm okay with it. I like the Jeff Jarrett, debut. I thought this last week's promo, beyond the Braun Strowman stuff, I thought was kind of weird.
All over the place.
Yeah, it was all over the place, but ultimately it was to establish the character of Jeff Jarrett in his company.
All over the place.
Yeah, it was just all, which I guess that's true. They're trying to establish him as a wild, crazy, maniacal man. But you got to do some more chair shots. Not chair shots.
My World's a great theme song.
My World is a bop. That I did tweet out in that moment.
Is that what you meant for that?
Yeah, I knew for a fact. I tweeted out that I know for a fact Scotty's bopping to this right now.
I was pumped because I think when I saw it, I think Moxley had just came out before or after or something. So I was like, I don't love that song that much. And then I was like, oh wait a minute, Jeff Jarrett.
Yeah. This is a bop. This is a bop and a half. Yeah, no. I think it's gonna be. Look, man, it's gonna be like.
It's gonna be every Sting tag.
Yeah, which has been great. I'll say is great.
It's gonna be a shit ton of fun.
Yeah,
I don't think Jeff Jarrett needs to be on TV much after this show.
I agree. I think
plug him in once in a while if you need to.
I completely agree. Steel cage match here. Luchasaurus versus Jungle Boy Jack Perry.
Yeah, how about that shitty Rampage segment, huh?
I did not like that.
You should have seen my face watching it when I was there. I was like, what the fuck is this?
It felt weird doing that sort of promo style after the feud we've been having with them, with Jack Perry running into Christian Cage in a parking lot to beat him up, and then building into a steel cage match. It's weird to have a nice sit down conversation like this.
Very nice
in a wrestling ring.
Jungle Boy's not the problem, by the way. I've decided in this feud.
Really?
The problem is the big fucking idiotic dinosaur. He just looks so stupid. Like everything he does. And it's like, how am I supposed to believe this guy's a threat? Like the whole thing is like, we're gonna chase gold now. It's like, no, you're not. You're not chasing gold. This company has 7 better big men than you. What are you talking about?
He got a gold match. He got an All Atlantic title match.
He did.
Which now that I say that, we don't have that match on this show. So maybe
we'll add
that to our count of 5 matches, the All Atlantic title.
Yeah, thanks. Let's think about this for a second. Think of how long this story has been told. Right? Nothing good has come out of this for Jungle Boy yet. I am pretty confident this will be his big win.
It has to be.
It has to be. This is legitimately do or die for Jungle Boy. I don't even think like his promos have been all that bad. Like he's fine. It's not like he's great or anything. He's not going out there and lighting the world on fire. But he's like, you know what? He's telling the promo, the obvious promo. I don't care enough.
Yeah.
And like the Christian stuff, it's like Christian getting hurt this a lot too, because that was but the story.
But that's also the problem is that if Jungle Boy wins, Jungle Boy Jack Perry wins here, he beats Luchasaurus, he still eventually has to face Christian.
So but he's got to win this and move on and go back to Christian when Christian comes back.
I agree. I agree, but I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen.
I don't know either, but once they said steel cage, I was like, okay, this can actually be the best version of these two match-wise because you have the cage and I don't know. I think they can get creative. AEW's done good with cage matches.
Yeah, I agree. I think ultimately, though, it's continuing this feud despite Christian's injury, I don't think has been the greatest idea.
No, it's been a bad idea.
So hopefully
Luchasaurus can't carry you as the big heel on that side.
But hopefully this is the end of it, or maybe we return later. I'm fearful that they won't.
Channel Wardlow and Cody here.
Yeah, I agree. And I will say this too. I'll be rooting for Christian Cage because his promo made all the points that I've had about Jungle Boy over the years. I don't think you're a good pillar for this company. That's what I'm saying, Christian.
I think only one of the pillars is a good pillar for this company, frankly, at this point. So we may want to break down the building and rebuild it.
Yeah, we have to redo our foundation. That's going to cost
just think about it for a second. Think of these pillars. Sammy Guevara, no one gives a shit about this guy, right? No one cares.
Yeah,
no one cares about him. Darby Allin's just stings. Way we get to
which Jeff Jarrett is right on as well. He's kind of
the way we get to sting stories is through beating up Darby Allin.
Yeah.
And Jungle Boy, we've been over this. We've been over this, right? It's just the MJF show. He clears them all by so much. It's not even close.
It's unbelievable.
And they made the pillar shirt, so they have to live with it for the rest of time.
Well, it's ironic because MJF was the one that said that. He's the one that coined the 4 pillars and coined those 3 guys as him as the 4 pillars.
Replaced Britt Baker.
Yeah,
Britt Baker instead of MJF. And I was like, you had 3 other people to replace him with.
Well, yeah, I think ultimately for me, I'm excited about this pay-per-view. Obviously, we're still watching it. We're going to be doing on Patreon, patreon.com/countoutpod.
A live review.
We're going to be doing a live review on there.
Yeah. That's where you can see our video reactions and you can see Ryan tired.
Yep. So we'll be doing that live.
On Saturday, though.
On Saturday, thank God. We'll be doing that on patreon.com/countoutpod. We need to say what tier it was. What did we do last time? I think it was the $1 tier.
I think we did 1, yeah.
Yeah, so we'll do it again on the $1 tier.
Get you in the door.
Baby.
Then you can see what else do we have?
What else do we got in here? But we'll do that on the $1 tier. Live reactions. And then you'll get the audio only version the next day when I wake up and edit it.
We're not recording the next morning, folks.
Yes, that's the next week we're recording. It's gonna be a nights, Ring Post Radio nights.
I'm so excited.
I am very excited.
For my health, it needs to be
same. But yeah, so that should be good. We'll be doing patreon.com again /countoutpod. You can hear our live reactions to a press conference. Let's move on.
I'm so scared now.
Let's move on to you have to think someone's making a joke at the press conference about it. We'll see.
Yeah, I mean if the elite's on the thing, they better not. They better keep themselves away. MJF's making the joke.
Yeah. They'd be like, oh now we're going. Let's talk about the next subject, which is New Japan Pro Wrestling and Stardom's joint show. Really, this is not New Japan and Stardom's, but rather Bushiroad's show. Historic crossover taking place this Sunday, November 20th. Like you said, for your health, after Full Gear, stay up, everybody, to watch this show, Historic Crossover. I don't know what it is, EST.
3 p.m.
3 p.m.? Wait,
3 a.m. 3 a.m.
I was like, wait, what?
3 p.m. 3 a.m.
That is literally, we're gonna finish recording, and an hour later is the show. I think, probably.
Yeah, I'm gonna die, people.
But we got a
It was
show in
nice
front of
knowing
us.
you all.
We got a show in front of us. We got 2 kickoff matches here. Which we got. First off, we got a Rambo. I believe it's a Stardom Rambo, if I'm not
It
mistaken.
is a Stardom Rambo. 15
person Stardom Rambo. That should be fun. That should be good. Everyone loves a good Rambo. And then we also have an 8-man tag of a bunch of young lions. Well, young lions on one side and like graduated young lions and young lions.
LA
on the other side.
Dojo, right?
Yes, LA Dojo versus New Japan Dojo here. Finally seeing it too. I don't feel like we've seen formally this sort of match. But it is going to be Gabriel Kidd, Alex Coughlin, Clark Connors, and Kevin Knight, all against Kosei Fujita, Rohei Iwa, Yuto Nakashima, and the debut of the Kazakhstan wrestler Oscar Luub. I have no idea. We'll find out how it's pronounced, I guess. But yes, it's gonna be the debut of him. So I'm definitely gonna check that out. I think that's totally gonna be worth it. Especially seeing a lot of these guys making. I believe Alex Coughlin and Kevin Knight will be also making their Japan debuts. Oh, Scotty disappeared for a second. I don't know why. Gabriel Kidd and Kevin Knight will be making their Japanese debuts as well here with Oscar. So I think that's going to be interesting. Going to see how they do. And it's also, nice seeing Gabriel Kidd back. I'm glad he's continuing to stay in the world of wrestling. But we got a big card here. A lot of matches to talk about, and a lot of tag matches. So that take that as you will. But I think we'll just go through them real quickly. First match of the show is going to be Lio Rush, Yoshihashi, and Tomohiro Ishii versus Evil, Yujiro Takahashi, Dick Togo, and Sho. So, nice little 8-man tag there. But we got Lio Rush in.
Stardom fans are going to walk into this show and get slapped in the face with House of Torture right off the bat.
Yeah, baby. Yeah, baby.
They're going to be like, what is happening? I'm pumped for Lio Rush, though.
Yeah, this is his Japan debut as well, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
So nice to see him here. Nice little see him before Best of the Super Junior. Not Best of the Super Juniors, Best of the Tag League.
Yeah.
6-woman tag match. Saya Kamatani, Leia C, and Azumi versus Himeka, Takla, and Mei Sakurai. Nice little 6-woman tag here.
Saya's just going to hit one of the splashers to win.
100%.
If anyone's paid attention to the Stardom Showcase matches by now, they just put Saya in there. Do one of your cool things.
Yep. Hey,
it's a brilliant idea.
It's a brilliant idea to get new audience. Oh crap, that person was great. I want to see more of that. Yeah, that's what it is. That's what worked of Tekla with just the one spider crawl and a spear.
Wow. That was a free. What was that? Free on YouTube, and it just blew up.
Tag team match here, mixed tag match here. Shuri versus Tom Lawler.
Shuri and Tom Lawler.
Sure. Well, that's what I would love.
That's a great boss, though.
Shuri and Tom Lawler, Filthy Tom Lawler versus Julia and Zack Sabre Jr. So a kind of a little preview here for all Wrestle Queendom.
No, Wrestle Queendom's Pro Wrestling Eve's show. Stardom Dream Queendom is
whatever, man.
Well, Wrestle Queendom's happening today, so I guess gotta correct you.
Wrestle Queendom, Dream Queendom, they're all the same Queendoms. You can't. How many Queendoms do we have? Do we have Wrestle Serfdoms?
We have Stardom's Queendom. We have Pro Wrestling Eve's Queendom.
We have Kingdom. We have Queendom. Do we have Serfdom? Do we have that?
We have Mushroom Kingdom. Here we come.
Here we go.
Yeah, well, he said, never mind, we're not talking about the Mario movie. This match is exciting, obviously. The Stardom and New Japan talent haven't got the message here that this is mixed tag rules, because all they say is we want to beat the shit out of the other gender. Yeah. That's all they say. Yeah. Shuri hasn't threatened to beat up Zack Sabre Jr., but Julia sure has threatened to beat up Tom Lawler.
That's what I'm talking about, Julia. That's my future champ.
And of course, I got Tom Lawler. When I interviewed Tom Lawler, he talked about that. He was like, I'm going to just hide behind Shuri. I'm just going to hope she protects me. This should be really good, actually. This is a really good match.
Yeah, nice little former MMA wrestling team versus the Europeans, I guess, in a way, or not Europeans. Yeah, you're Europeans. I guess. Should be a fun match. Should be a fun little mixed tag here. We also have another mixed 8-person tag here. Natsupoi, Tam Nakano, and Yoshinobu Kanemaru and Taichi. All teaming up to take on Momo Watanabe, Starlight Kid, El Desperado, and Doki. Obviously, we're doing this so that we can sell great merch for Starlight Kid and El Desperado.
Yeah, this is the Starlight Kid and Desperado finally get the team.
Yes,
which has been like the long wait.
Mm-hmm.
It would have made sense if they did Kid and Desperado versus Hiromu and Azumi, but it's fine.
Yeah.
I'll let it go.
I'll let it slide. I'll let it slide this time.
There should be other chances.
I'll let it slide this time. Yeah.
Yeah. So we got the singers on one side versus I don't even know what to call the team of Kid, Despy, Doki, and Momo. It's just like
a real chaos squad.
Mixed bag.
Yeah.
Of violence and Doki.
Yeah, that's definitely true.
I'm looking forward to it. It's fun to see Suzuki-gun going head to head too. Meltier.
That's true.
They're very determined. If anyone read like the interviews, like Tam and Natsupoi, like that jump that we do on off the ropes, we're all gonna do it holding hands. And Taichi's like, I don't jump. I don't do that.
Nor do I hold hands.
Like, no, but we're going to do it.
Nor do I hold hands.
Tam Natsupoi, but like we're going to though. And Kanemaru's just like,
whatever.
What am I doing here? But it should be a lot of fun. I'm excited for these mixed tags.
Yeah, I mean this match. I mean, we're talking about like a lot of like Dream Queendom, I guess. Queendom preview matches ultimately, and then we just kind of filter in New Japan guys. This show is ultimately showcasing Stardom to the New Japan audience to grow Stardom more, and also the overall audience as well, international audience. But I think ultimately so far, I mean, all of this stuff should be looking good. There's no reason this shouldn't be a good show, and I'm very excited.
I'm pretty confident. Well, I know the Stardom roster will go all out for it.
100%. Another tag team match here: Utami Hayashishita and Hiroshi Tanahashi versus Maika and Hiroki Goto.
Tough to be classified with Goto, but that is where Maika is.
Hey, but they also got great merch. they also got great. Do. I saw that and I was like, damn.
I preferred the Tanahashi and Tommy shirt because I was like, wow, gods. But this should be really good as well. I mean, I watched Tommy and Tanahashi do the TikTok dance, or Tanahashi do the TikTok dance, and Tommy just be embarrassed.
Yeah,
like the obvious teams were it would have been Utami and Okada, but taking Tanahashi is not a bad second choice. They're winning. By the way, it's not real. There's no bigger guarantee on the show of who's winning than this match.
Yeah, that's 100% true. I can 100% agree to that for sure. 6-man match, sixth match on the show. 10-man match here. Bushi, Hiromu Takahashi, Sanada, Shingo Takagi, Tetsuya Naito versus United Empire, Gideon Gray, Francisco Akira, Kyle Fletcher, Mark Davis, and TJP. Nice little 10-man match here. Nothing to really.
So weird that it's in the middle of the card, but that's how popular LIJ is, so I should just accept it.
That's true.
Wait, isn't Jeff Cobb off the show?
He's listed here for the Muta match still. I don't know if he's been formally.
I didn't know if they were going to move one of these guys into that one.
I know he was off the New Japan Tamashe New Zealand.
He's also not in Tag League.
Yes, he's not in Tag League. I see a thing saying that he is absent from the Tamashi events, but I don't see anything saying that he is not on this show specifically.
Well, let's hope he's there then.
At least on their website. So we'll see. But I mean, this is going to be what the match currently is at the time of recording that we know about. Great Muta's final New Japan Pro Wrestling match is, of course, going to be Great Muta. That'd be weird if he wasn't in this match. Teaming up with Kazuchika Okada and Toru Yano versus Great Okan, Jeff Cobb, and Aaron Hanare. I would like to ask the question, who do you think is taking the fall?
Aaron Hanare.
Ooh, sorry. Aaron Hanare is the answer. Sorry, Aaron. You're gonna be eating some mist on this one, buddy.
Sorry, Primal Bro.
The only
yeah.
Do you think we get any sort of Muta Okada tease?
No, they're just gonna hold each other's hand at the end of the match and be like, "Yeah, we did it!"
And then jump off the ropes.
I forgot this match was happening.
Yeah, no.
I really wish Yano wasn't in it.
What?
Or Hanare. I wish they just got rid of Yano and Hanare and just had Okada and Muta versus Okan and Cobb. But we need pin eaters here.
Yeah, but you can have Okada pin Cobb or Okan. You can do that.
You have Okada pin anyone.
Yeah.
But if Muta's the guy getting the pin, then they were probably like, all right.
Yeah, that's probably true. Who do you want Muta to pin is the real answer there. 8th match on the show, IWGP US Heavyweight Championship match, Will Ospreay versus Shota Umino. You and I were real hyped on Shota Umino last week. Hype continuing for this match. I'm excited. How do you think we're going to get a change in titles?
I don't.
But if we're talking a lot about the Jay Whiteisms that we're feeling, the vibes, are we gonna get a title switch?
The big question is what are we doing with Ospreay at Wrestle Kingdom? That's really the question here, because I feel like Shota has more of a path already than Ospreay, like a clearer path. Shota's gonna be in a showcase match, I'm guessing. Ospreay is going to have a match. It's just a matter of who's he facing. Will the title need to be involved? Title probably doesn't need to be involved. Man, I don't know. I'm looking forward to this one, though. I'll tell you that. I'm happy. I'm happy New Japan put their shit together and did put themselves a title match on this show. I'm happy it's this because from what these two have teased, in the past through their matches, there's good hope here that it can deliver, and I feel like Shota's debut match back in Japan against Will Ospreay, it's gonna be good. It's gonna be really good.
It's probably gonna be a good match. It's probably gonna be a good.
I think Ospreay wins. And then you get Shota a big win at Kingdom.
Yeah. I agree. Debuts, not many young lions win their debut match, let alone for a title.
Unless you're Ren Narita, baby.
Yeah, he's had a couple more matches before then, though. No, I don't think anyone's won.
He lost to Shibata. If we count that one, then
I guess that's true. I don't think Shota's going to win here. I think Ospreay's going to win here. You're right in that it's interesting, but we still don't know what Ospreay's situation's going to be.
There's no clear way. That's the exciting part.
There are ideas, right?
You just do Shingo.
You could do Shingo. They've been teasing. They've been teasing this one guy that we can't talk about yet.
Can't talk about it. Doesn't exist.
He got deleted, edited out.
Doesn't even exist in his own company. And you want to talk about him here? Are you kidding me?
And Ospreay teased his own finisher in his last match. I wouldn't be surprised.
God damn it! It has to be Kenny Omega.
By God, they've been teasing it. They've been obviously teasing on the show. Ospreay's starting to tease it in actual matches.
They gotta hit the video after this, right? The video's gotta go up of Kenny on the big Tron saying, "All right,
I know
there's enough talk. It's time for the main."
Mark Henry comes out and Mark Henry challenges instead. I don't know if you announced the video here. I think you announced the video
this is your biggest show, though, left on the calendar for them.
Yes, but I think you probably announced it at World Tag League Finals or something like that.
Yeah, that's fair.
You do another U.S. title match there, and then do the announcement there. If that's what we're doing.
If they do another title match,
because my concerns about it is historic crossover is really meant to showcase Stardom.
That'll have people lose their minds and forget about the main event. Yeah, that's a good call.
Exactly. I'm worried that it would overshadow the main event, despite the main event being the first ever IWGP Women's Champion, Mayu Iwatani versus Kairi.
I'm confident nothing can over or can out spotlight the main event, but yeah, it's safer just to ignore it.
Yeah, I think it's safe to just save it for later if that's what
I could see Ospreay lay down the challenge, maybe just start yelling into the mic like he often does, be like, "I want Kenny Omega at Wrestle Kingdom."
Yeah,
something, something British
or something super like over the top reference.
Yeah,
just any
best bout machine versus best bout machine. Whatever his shirt said, whatever that shirt said, they got cease and desisted on.
What was the yeah.
It lasted like 2 minutes.
Let's talk about the main event: IWGP Women's Championship match, Mayu Iwatani versus Kairi. This match should be real good. I think Mayu Iwatani, obviously ace of the company. Kairi, obviously,
biggest star in the company.
I was gonna say
there's a difference.
One of the maybe best Joshi wrestlers, modern Joshi wrestlers.
Yeah, I mean they both are.
Yeah, it's
Kairi's just
it's like top 5 in there maybe.
Kairi's probably the most known modern day wrestler. Yeah, I'm not gonna beat around the bush here. This is the biggest match of the year for me as a viewer.
and Dream Queendom's still around the corner.
There's a lot of stakes here. Yeah. lot of anticipation. This is the biggest match in Stardom's history.
Yeah,
it's not even a question. It is the biggest match.
You can call this match Outback because there's a lot of stakes.
I hate you.
Did I just ruin this entire match for you?
Yeah. No, you didn't ruin nothing.
Much like an Omega announcement, I just ruined this entire match for you.
Nothing can ruin this match for me. It's as exciting a match. It's the perfect match for this title. You couldn't have made a better final. You really could not have, unless Io Shirai walked through the door and you did Mayu versus Io, which was not happening.
We thought
Kairi,
we thought
Kairi since her return has had this mega star feeling about her.
Yeah.
And I thought about this the other day when Paige was making that superstar promo. I was like, that's a promo maybe Kairi could do, because like there is a feeling when she shows up. No offense to Saraya, she doesn't have that feeling. There is a lot of history though at play here in this main event. The 2/3 of the Threedom, friends. Mayu pretty much said, I didn't really want her back here. I don't care that she's here. Yeah. She's not full time. This is also coming a day after they have maybe their best on paper pay-per-view of the year, where they're having a TLC match as a tournament final because they're doing another money match thing where they're doing trios, where Mayu's probably going to be in that, while also having Kairi challenge Saya Kamatani for the Wonder of Stardom Championship, and Utami and Shuri going head to head one more time. There's a lot going on here next weekend for Stardom. I'm going to be a tired boy. I'm an excited boy as well. This is the biggest match of the year for me as a fan. This show should be great, and I very much expect these two to close out as great as they can. Mayu Iwatani should be the one walking out as champion.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. I think this has all the potential to be in the world to be one of the best Joshi matches of the year. I think this has match of the year possibilities. Maybe, I don't know. It teases. Historic. I think this is obviously just gonna be set up as a great historic match. First ever IWGP Women's Champion. Not just one of the reasons it's a crossover that we're doing this on a crossover show and showcasing on the international audience of New Japan. But this match, this title is going to be on New Japan shows. this title is going to be
first defense is at Wrestle Kingdom.
This title is going to be on international shows for New Japan. It is meant to showcase. This whole thing is meant to showcase the international audience, the New Japan audience, to Joshi Wrestling, to Stardom, so that this should be, this not only should be, this has to be really great. This has to be fantastic.
You could not have picked better people.
Yeah, at the end of the day, there is no better group to showcase and present probably one of the best matches of the year, maybe.
Like,
that's the ceiling, and we'll see.
I thought about this. I've thought about all of this, obviously, because I love this shit, but there is a conversation to be had that they could have considered. And I understand why, she's the world champion, so you couldn't. But Shuri versus Utami was the only other match that also made sense for this.
Yeah, I can see that.
Now, I think Mayu should have been in the match no matter what, but I would have understood doing Shuri versus Utami because that is your most popular match ever. That is your most known match ever. So it's kind of funny it's happening the day before.
If they didn't have Kairi in the company, I would probably say yeah.
Yeah, it would have probably been Mayu and Utami, truthfully, which would have been great. It was great 2 weeks ago when I watched it. But that is a fair conversation that I've seen people talk about it. Possibly consider putting Julia in, but here's the thing about Julia. Julia is a huge star in Japan.
Yeah,
she's not a huge international star yet. Keyword, but she will be. She will be. It takes time, but I'm very excited about next weekend. Next weekend, I'm not walking out alive. I put the schedule up for those who may not see it. The Stardom pay-per-view on Saturday starts at 1:30 a.m. I'll be watching that live, covering that live. And then I actually have to do a recording before Full Gear now. So that's at 4:30 p.m.
Yep.
And Full Gear starts at 7.
Yep.
Pre-show, buy it, whatever the fuck.
Yeah.
Dark Hour? 0 Hour? What is it called?
Whatever. I think it's 0 Hour.
They should call it Full Gear Dark. That would be funny.
Full Gear.
And then we record. Right?
Yep.
Yeah. We record after Full Gear. And then I'm going to watch this show.
Yep.
And then we're record again. But thankfully, that'll be at night.
You'll have 12 hours of recovery or whatever.
12 hours of sleeping. And then it's Thanksgiving week.
Strap into Thanksgiving, everybody. It's a big week. Big week. And I'm ready for it, baby.
So let's wrap this up with King of the Indies.
Well, yeah, I was going to talk about. We had 2 other topics, but I think we'll kick Impact to the curb.
Very rude.
How dare I?
There's so much happening on that show.
How dare I? I know there's a tables match with Bully Ray. Can you believe it?
Yeah, you can kick it to the curb.
That's a real.
We'll talk about it next week.
Talk about it next week.
We'll already have Full Gear gone by then. So
that's true. That is true.
We'll have a short crossover to review and.
It's an Impact Plus show at the end of the day, so
Yeah, but there's a Josh Alexander match. Black Taurus is probably winning the X Division title. There's some excitement there.
Yeah.
Sorry if I just spoiled that for everyone. I just realized that match hasn't aired yet.
Well,
sorry, Black Taurus did not lose to PJ Black.
Dang. I really thought it was going to be PJ Black's year. Well, there is a show that you and I are both have been looking at that we've been very excited about. We don't really cover indies, I think, too much on the show just because of time.
No, because they're kind of bad.
But one indie that you and I have been really loving this year have been West Coast Pro out in San Francisco, California.
I think it's the best indie going.
I have to agree with you. I think they've been doing fantastic work over in West Coast Pro. And they have a little joint show happening this Saturday during Full Gear. Good luck, guys. It will be on IWTV.
This is during Full Gear?
If I'm not mistaken, it is during Full Gear. Let me confirm that. It does say 11/19. Yeah, it is during Full Gear.
Didn't they originally have Takeshita set for this?
Yes.
At one point?
Yes, they originally had Takeshita, and he's not there anymore. Interesting.
Better be on that show then, Tony.
Whoo, give me a pre-show match. Orange Cassidy versus Takeshita. Maybe that's the All Atlantic title match. Maybe not the pre-show, but
crown him.
Crown him.
Crown him.
But there is a nice little King of the Indies tournament from West Coast Pro in conjunction with Pro Wrestling Revolution. I've been excited about this. If you've been seeing the images that pop out from this show, I think it's a very nice tournament and a bunch of other matches that look very wild and crazy. So let's go through them real quick. We're not diving deep into it, but I just want to address this show. So we got we got a singles match and a multi-man match. So we got a single match here. Katsuhiko Nakajima from Noah versus New Japan's JR Kratos. That should be hard hitting as hell. And then we have a multi-man match here, a PWR, which is Pro Wrestling Revolution's open weight title match. It is going to be Vinny Massaro, who is also one of the head trainers of West Coast Pro, I believe, versus Extreme Tiger. You remember him from Noah. Versus New Japan's Mysterioso versus Naomichi Marufuji.
Sure. Why not?
Why freaking not, dude? I'm excited for that. So that should be solid. And we got the tournament itself. We got 4 first-round matches here. We have Jacob Fatu versus La Estrella from Dragon Gate.
Oh.
Kevin Blackwood versus SB Kento, also from Dragon Gate.
Oh.
Drilistico versus Viento. Viento, if I'm not mistaken, is he Bandito's brother, or is it the other guy? Or is it Gravity?
Drilistico is.
Well, no.
No, Drilistico is
Dragon Lee's.
Dragon Lee's. I
believe Gravity.
I think Gravity.
Yeah, I think it's Gravity. But Viento is also good. I've enjoyed his work. But Drilistico versus Viento, and then Dragon Lee, the aforementioned Dragon Lee versus Titus Alexander.
If this show happened this week, I would probably give that the greatest chance to be the match of the week.
Yeah.
Unfortunately for them, it has no shot. There's a Full Gear pay-per-view. There's 2 Stardom / New Japan shows. I'm sure there's something else that we're not talking about that'll be great. They tried, and I appreciate it. But it'll be great. It'll still be great. Don't get me wrong. We're here for great wrestling, but man, tough night to be booked.
Yeah, no, it's certainly a tough night to be booked, but there's a lot of fun matches here. You get the chance to watch it. Like I said, it's going to be IWTV. So definitely, I would say go check it out. I mean, every match, honestly, I'm looking forward to. I'm 100% watching this thing when it comes out. Maybe not live, but maybe.
No,
but that Sunday,
you would ruin our recording if you did that.
That Sunday, I would probably be watching it right before.
It's a wrestling weekend next week.
It's a wrestling weekend, folks, and we're going to be bringing in a bunch of Noah talent to
the
States.
Wrestling weekend. It doesn't work as well. I tried.
Can I get you breaking news real quick that I just saw?
Oh, dear God.
No, it's not that breaking news. Kevin Kelly just tweeted. Get your thoughts on this. Kevin Kelly just tweeted, "This is what I've been dying to share. American Excellence Wrestling is the first promotion I have a financial stake in, and the first event is January 7th at the historic Hamburg Fieldhouse. New wrestling promotion, financially backed by Kevin Kelly, called American Excellence Wrestling. It has a giant X, American Wrestling with a giant X in the middle of it that has the flag in the X. So thoughts on that new promotion by Kevin Kelly?
That's interesting.
January 7th. Interesting. we'll keep that on the periphery. I think we'll be keeping that on the periphery for sure. See what kind of show that's gonna be.
What else do we have this week? Is that it? Are we all done?
Yeah, we're all done. That's the show.
Maki Ito versus Masha Slamovich is happening on GCW show. What? How did I not know this?
Well, it's because it was a GCW show and you weren't paying attention.
It's in Providence. I hate this shit. What the frick? Did I know? I feel like I had to know.
I don't know.
I'm embarrassed. I'm kind of upset. I'm not gonna lie to you. I would have kind of liked to see that, but I'm not going. I'm going to be exhausted that day. It's on Sunday. Yeah,
that's not going to happen. That is not. That was
a good thought. Oh, we need to talk about the SmackDown World Cup. Anyways, this was Ring Post Radio.
I knew we forgot something. Dang. Next week.
Next week. You know, we don't have anything to talk about next week. We'll have plenty of time.
No. We just have, I think, on the docket, Impact review. King of the Indies review, historic crossover. Survivor Series is happening.
We could technically review the Stardom show.
Which one? The crossover or Gold Rush?
Gold,
both. Yeah, cool, man.
We'll have plenty. I think we'll be pretty good.
And then
previewing Survivor Series.
Survivor Series.
I'm gonna be there. I'm gonna give I'll be there. I'll be here the next morning to give you all my thoughts on. I learned I'm seeing Ronda Rousey versus Shotzi Blackheart.
Yeah. That's gonna put butts in seats. Anyways,
that's what we call a banger.
That's been Ring Post Radio, everybody.
The banger is me banging my head off the wall.
Oh Jesus! That's been Ring Post Radio, everybody. Thank you so much for sticking with us.
I didn't give my match of the week.
I'm giving the preamble to get to the match of the week.
I got excited.
I know. Ring Post Radio, everybody. You can subscribe to the show wherever you get podcasts. Follow us on Twitter at Ryan Knightsey, at Scott E Wrestling, whole network at Count Out Pod. A bunch of great shows on the network, like Your Dose of Death. They're going to be covering Nick Gay's Invitational 7 probably, which was this weekend. Stardom Road, Scotty's show, of course.
Big show this week on Tuesday. That's dropping. Me and Trent break down the history between Mayu Iwatani and Kairi. So you're welcome.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Hindsight, we should have gotten that out before the crossover show, shouldn't we have? No, it is coming out. You're right.
That was the whole point. We know what we're doing.
I don't know.
We know what we're doing.
That
was the whole point. That was Trent's idea. I'm not taking credit for that one. He was very smart on that.
I'm glad
this is what we should do.
I'm glad we brought Trent on to the network then.
Yeah, he's a lot smarter than I am.
we got to get some people with brains up in this business.
Yeah. I'm just here to shit on NWA and talk about other wrestling.
Well, while you have it, any plugs for you, Scotty, and what's your match of the week?
You know they did tribute to the troops the other day.
Yeah, they scheduled it. They did some tapings.
They did the show. Do you want to know what happened on the show?
Is this your match of the week?
No. Well, no, they didn't air it.
Well, I don't know. Maybe you have a time traveling device.
But just give me a second. Yeah. Emma and Tamina.
So these are spoilers for matches.
For tribute, I'm not telling you who won. I'm just telling you the matches. LA Knight versus Braun Strowman.
Yeah.
But this one's juicy. Drew McIntyre, Ricochet, and Sheamus versus Imperium.
All right.
That's a pretty juicy match.
It's pretty juicy. That's pretty
juicy.
Pretty oozy.
I had to say Imperium because I couldn't say it like
Samantha
Ludwig
Irvin
does.
Oh, yeah.
Ludwig says it. Oh yes, Samantha Irvin does it really well. My match of the week, is that what you were asking?
Yes, I was.
Listen, wrestling was kind of bad this week. Kind of boring. Kind of low. So I'm gonna go actually with a WWE match after all.
What?
I know. I'm going with the Usos versus Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods of the New Day.
Yep.
I didn't really expect anything less than a good match, to be fair, but they actually had stakes here, so it was interesting because it was for the record of longest reigning champions.
Yeah.
So that made it better, and that was fun. And
yeah.
Good atmosphere. So I enjoyed it.
Yeah, you could have called that match Texas Roadhouse because it had a lot of stakes.
You did the joke twice.
Well, now I gotta figure out. Now I gotta figure out how to do the third time to have comedy happen.
Before the show ends.
Yeah. My match of the week.
You know, it's the opposite of NWA. The Outback, because the NWA has no stakes.
That's all right. That's all right. It's not my kind of joke, you know. I wouldn't tell that joke. My match of the week is gonna be Bryan Danielson versus Sammy Guevara. It wasn't as good, it was really good, but I was just like, all right. But it was one of the best matches.
As someone that was in the building watching it live, I was like,
yeah.
They had like this wicked long heat segment where Danielson was on the floor forever.
Yeah,
and I was like, this is absolutely killing me right now.
Felt the commercial break.
Yeah.
But I mean, it was still a good match. I think ultimately it was still a good match. Well, it was bad by it. It was just like It was like weirdly boring, even though it was really good. Well worked. I don't know.
Yeah,
I think it's just the Sammy Guevara. I think
Sammy Guevara.
I tweeted out that Jeff Jarrett needs that sort of same entrance right into my world. Jeff Jarrett.
My name is Jeff. All right, let's get this.
God. That is it for this week's episode of Ring Post Radio.
22 Jump Street reference there.
We'll see everyone next week. It's going to be Ring Post Radio nights. And again, subscribe to the Patreon, patreon.com/countoutpod for our live thoughts on AEW's Full Gear pay-per-view. That's going to be the $1
That's the
tier.
only place we're going to talk about Full Gear. Well, I mean, that's the only show we're going to talk about Full Gear. We're not talking about it on the regular show.
No. It's going to be on the Patreon. So go listen to our live thoughts in the moment right after the pay-per-view. Join us for that. We would greatly appreciate it. I think those shows are always fun. So go check that out when you get the chance. Well, just join the Patreon. Join the Patreon. You get on the $5 tier, $1 tier. You get it all in those tiers. There's some great stuff on there. Like Ryan Hasn't Seen Anything, which has another episode coming out tomorrow.
Hey.
I don't remember what the match is off the top of my head. But we'll have another episode out tomorrow. Otherwise, we'll see everyone next week, next Sunday.